If your goal is to lose body fat, then listen up and stay in this video because I'm going to explain step by step how I lost body fat throughout my entire 9 years of training. And I want to start with my origin story of what I was doing in order to get in shape at the time. So, when I started training, I realized that I needed to do something with my nutrition. I needed to, you know, update my nutrition or just have a different strategy because I was literally eating so arbitrarily, see, eating just intuitively, right? If I wanted, you know, a couple of Oreos, if I wanted to eat pizza, whatever it might be, I would go eat it, right? I wasn't going to the gym. I didn't really have any goal of getting in shape at the time. But when I did, once that goal popped in my head, I said, okay, we got to do something here. So the thing that I started doing, because it's the only thing I knew, was to portion control. Now, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad strategy, but I was still kind of shooting my shot and completely missing the bullseye. Okay, I was essentially portion controlling, but I wasn't getting anywhere near the physique that I wanted to get. And yes, it takes time, I understand that, but I was stagnant in my progress. And I was always questioning myself, why am I not, gaining muscle and losing the body fat that I want? And after doing an extensive amount of research online on how to, lose body fat, I found out ultimately that it's going to be calories in, calories out. And I might get a lot of backlash for that because nowadays people are saying, oh, it's more complex than calories in, calories out. Yes, there are more components to it when it comes to calories in, calories out. Obviously, you want to make sure that you're eating nutritious food and not fast food, junk food, whatever it might be. I'm on the same page as you. Don't worry about that. But nonetheless, if you eat less calories than what you burn throughout the day, you're going to lose weight, right? It might not be the weight that you want, but you're going to lose weight. I'll give you an example. There's the infamous study of an individual eating the Twinkie diet, right? I forget how long of a period it was, but nonetheless, he ate Twinkies for a long period of time and he lost weight. He lost weight, right? Yes, he didn't maintain a decent amount of muscle mass, but that wasn't the point of the study. The point of the study was if you eat less calories than what you burn, you're going to lose weight. So let's just get that clear, okay? That fundamental, that scaffolding of your diet needs to be in place. You need to be eating less than what you burn, okay? Cool. All right. I started doing that. The next thing I started doing was tracking my protein, carbs, and fats because I knew that tracking my protein, carbs, and fats was going to dictate what my body composition was going to be, right? So I wanted to make sure that I was in the right range for my protein and right range for my fats. And obviously I wanted to make sure that I was fueling my sessions. So I was also having carbohydrates, not a hefty amount of carbohydrates, but just enough to get me by, okay? Because my goal was to lose body fat. Now, there's a bit of a technique when it comes to tracking your protein, and a lot of people just like to overlook this, right? Tons of people. They think, okay, now that I've done the calories in, calories out thing, I'm all set, I'm gonna lose the weight. Yes, you're gonna lose weight, but you're not gonna be able to maintain as much muscle if you did things the right way. So now, what did I do? Well, what I did was I had 1 gram per pound of body weight of protein a day, right? I wanted to make sure that I was at least maintaining or building muscle at the time. Even though I was in a deficit, I still wanted to make sure that I had the potential to build muscle. So I made sure that I was having an adequate amount of protein. There's obviously studies and all kinds of research indicating that you could have lower amounts of protein, around 0.8 grams, which is cool. If you guys want to do that, you can do that. But I like to have 1 gram per pound of body weight because it makes me feel satiated. But you could also get away with 0.8. There is absolutely no problem with that. The next thing I wanted to do was look at my fats. That's an important component because fats are going to dictate what you feel like, right? It's going to help with your hormone regulation. And a lot of people will just cut out fats because they think fat makes me fat. Like, come on, man. Fat doesn't make you fat. It's an essential macronutrient that you need for your body to operate at a decent or optimal level. So make sure you're not cutting out your fat out of your diet, because that is literally an important component. So I would make sure with the fat I was in a decent range between 0.3 to 0.5 grams per pound of body weight of fat. So that would range from maybe 50 to 80 grams of fat, right? Depending on your body weight. For me, I was maybe around 170, or I can't really remember at the time. But nonetheless, I did the calculation. I was able to get the fats that I needed in my diet, the correct amount. Lastly, I would leave the rest of my calories to carbs, right? The carbs were going to be able to fuel my session and also keep me satiated. Now, the types of carbs that I ate were, mix of complex carbohydrates, so potatoes, oats, things like that. And also I would try to get some simple sugars in, something that's gonna get right into the bloodstream, so that when I get my session, started, I already have energy, right? I just go into the session and I have energy to carry me through the workout. Now, of course, that energy is gonna diminish as you go, but it's still helpful nonetheless. So, pretty simple, pretty simple. So my point, right, and I kind of want to pivot now, is that people complicate nutrition so much. They literally complicate nutrition so much. And nutrition, when you really look at the big picture, is not that hard to grasp, okay? A lot of people like to come up with these diets like keto and all this other stuff, paleo, whatever it might be. And in reality, what you need is a balanced diet. What I described to you, all the macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fats, that is going to require a balanced diet in order to get all those macronutrients in. Okay? That is going to require some sort of balance. And a lot of people just say, no, I got to go like all the way on the other end, right? You get some people that say, oh, rice is bad for me, pasta is bad for me, I'm just gonna cut out pasta and rice now. No, why would you do that? Those are sources of energy that you can use to fuel your sessions, right? There's balance. Too much of anything is bad, and then too little of anything can also be bad. And I think people need to understand that more. And I'm also bringing this up because I have countless amount of people come up to me and they're like, man, how do you get shredded, right? I'll get some DMs during the day. How are you getting lean? I'm just like, hey man, the first thing that you need to worry about is counting your calories. Because, you could be the person that's counting your calories, but you could go out on the weekend and binge, and you literally undid your deficit that you accomplished during the weekdays, right? During the 5, days of the week, Monday through Friday, right? And then you go out on Saturday and Sunday and just completely blow it. And people are like, oh man, I'm eating in a deficit, but nothing's happening. Well, let's really reassess what you're eating. You're eating in a 500 calorie deficit each day, Monday through Friday. And then you're going out with the boys on Saturday and you're like slamming down cheesecakes, nachos, chicken parmesan, and you're like, I did my work. I paid my dues during the week. I earned this, right? And then you're like, I'm literally stagnant at this weight. Well, you're stagnant because you're doing that. You're literally just packing on the calories on the weekend, okay? So you gotta, number one, be real with yourself and be honest with yourself. Are you actually in a deficit, or are you just, bullshitting yourself? Excuse my French, but are you actually bullshitting yourself? That's number one. Number two, if you're not bullshitting yourself and you're actually putting in the work, you're tracking the calories day in and day out, you're getting your 10K steps in a day, you're doing your minimum 3 hypertrophy sessions a week. You're on your, your stuff. I don't want to curse. Give it time. It's literally the answer. Just give things some time, especially when you're trying to get down into those low levels of body fat that some of you really want to get down to. It's going to be a little bit tougher to really peel off the rest of that body fat, because think about it, there's not much fat left on the body, okay? So in order to get whatever is remaining, you got to cut even a little bit harder, right? Now, obviously, once you get to those really low levels of body fat, if you do, they're not really sustainable, right? You see these guys that get to 7, 8, 6%, whatever it might be. You're probably eating in like such a low deficit, your sleep is crap, and every quality of your life is horrible, right? The quality of life sucks, is what I'm trying to tell you. So if you're tracking and you're being honest with yourself, it's a process. You just got to give it time. And this is why people that are overweight currently, most of them will never, ever, ever be able to get lean, because they don't have delayed gratification, right? The people that want to get lean, that are literally gung-ho about getting in shape, they will literally stick it out for the long run. But you got people that are 30% body fat saying, hey, if I just do this, will I get lean? When I lay it out on a piece of paper, yeah, the steps don't seem that hard, but when you're actually trying to endure the process, you're like, bro, I'm just gonna go back to having my pizza and beer. Like, why am I gonna literally destroy myself over this? Why am I giving myself such a headache, right? And they don't see the trade-off. As they don't see the value in the trade-off. Hey, I gotta trade in this pizza and beer to live a healthier and more graceful life, right? It's not about even living longer, right? It's about living a good quality of life, being healthy, being able to hike, being able to swim, being able to go for a walk, being able to play around with your kids. Those are the things that you're going to be able to do when you actually keep yourself in shape, doing yard work, right? Whatever it might be. If you're gung-ho about it in the beginning, your mentality can literally switch just like that. It doesn't even take that much, because people are just like, hey, I'm just going to go stick back to my ice cream and whatever it might be, right? I don't want to dwell on that too much, but you get my point. So my ultimate message here is, yes, a lot of people do the wrong things in the beginning, including myself. And then once you find the right thing, you're like, okay, this is actually not that bad, right? This is like, when you lay out everything, okay, I got to track my macros, make sure I'm getting in my micronutrients, getting my fiber intake in. Like, it's not that bad. Just have a balanced diet at the end of the day. Make sure I'm weighing my stuff out. It's not complex. It's not rocket science. But when it comes to actually enduring the process, this is where it's like, Lord, just get me out of here. I don't want to do this no more. Like, how can you live with yourself tracking calories, bro? Like, don't you have a life? Yeah, it's called being healthy. That's my life. I want to be healthy. Now listen, if you got your shit together, then you don't have to be tracking calories. If you are keeping up the same habits day in and day out, more than likely you're eating the same types of foods, right? You're never really going to overeat. You kind of know when to gauge you're full. And some people can intuitively eat. I guess that's like the term I can use right now. Some people shouldn't be intuitively eating, even including myself, right? If I intuitively eat, my brain is signaling to me, go to that box of Oreos. If there's a box of Oreos laying around, or if there's a pie of pizza, I'm literally going to go for that, and I won't stop eating. This is why I need some sort of like a perimeter, right? I need, like a box to stay in. With that being said, I understand that there's going to be good days and bad days. There's going to be days when you're out with family and you're going to be eating like crap, right? It's going to happen, but if you're doing most of the good things right 90% of the time, it's very unlikely that you're just going to reverse everything that you did, right? It's one thing to say, hey, I'm going to go out and binge every weekend. But if you're going to go out and binge once every 5 months, it's not the end of the world, bro. Just hop back on the horse and continue, move on from it. Okay, you did what you did, but was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it. I had a good time with my family. I enjoyed some good food. And, you know, this is what it's about. It's about living a quality life. And the gym and nutrition should increase the quality of your life. Okay, it shouldn't make you miserable. Oh, I got to eat another box of rice, chicken, and broccoli Tupperware. No, no, right? There's more to life than that. You can make your diet more fun than that, even if you want to, if you're ambitious enough about it. But you can have times when you slip up. It's okay. It's okay. All right? But there's a difference between slipping up once a week and slipping up once every 5 months. So, my ultimate message here is try what you're going to try, okay? Try what you're going to try. You don't have to listen to me, okay? If you want to go out and try something for yourself, by all means, go try it for yourself. I am not your father. I'm not your doctor. I'm not nobody to you. But just know this. When you embark on the process, you're going to have your tough times. Okay, a lot of people like to just say, yep, I got this, man. I'm literally just going to go balls to the wall instantly, 100% intensity. Then when they do it, they're like, I'm done. I don't want to do this no more. Take me out. I'm waving the white flag. So I just want you to be mentally prepared that there is going to be moments like that. And one last thing I think is worth mentioning, and this goes, you know, for anything in general, regardless of what direction you pick, everything is going to be tough. You just have to pick your hard, right? I'm not trying to sound like Alex Hormozy, but that's something I got from him. You got to pick your hard. It's either, hey, I'm going to get healthy, track my calories, do whatever I got to do, eat a balanced diet, right? There's work that's got to be put into it, and there's got to be some level of discipline and consistency. A lot of discipline and consistency. That's where people fall off. Or you could be the person that's not moving around, not getting after their nutrition, not training, not doing anything, and then become overweight and have a chronic health issue. They're both hard, but you got to pick your hard, right? And I'm going to go with the first option. I'm going to eat well, train well, do what I got to do to live a better quality life. So that's it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and I will see you guys in the next one.